everyone, Zelrant here, and for today's video on Umamusume, we're going to be talking about support cards again. It's kind of a follow-up to my Should You Pull on Super Creek video. One of the big things I mentioned as a reason to potentially pull on that banner would be to get more SR cards to flush it out even more after the Key to Sun Black banner. As you know, the big reason we pulled on the Key to Sun Black banner was to get a bunch of SR cards, because a lot of people, like my case, when we re-rolled, we got what we wanted, and we held everything we had until Key to Sun Black dropped. Big reason being, that was going to be the absolute best banner to pull on, because it's the best card for a very long time to pull on, to not only try and get copies of Key to Sun Black, but also get SR cards. But some people may have been unlucky and did not get a good flesh out of their SR cards, which is kind of what my situation was. And that's what the question some people I've seen asked are, what do you consider being good with your SR cards? And so there's two main reasons you're wanting support cards. The first one is for building your parents and grandparents. The second one being to actually build your ace themselves, that's aces that are actually going to be doing the champions meeting race. Now, when it comes to getting or building parents and grandparents, the biggest thing you want here is just as many different cards as possible. So if on Key to Sun Black, you're still missing like half of these cards for some reason, that's a very good reason to pull if you're missing a bunch of the SRs, because there's random skills all over them that not only have their value now in the current champions meeting, but potentially in future ones when it comes to making parents and grandparents. As many people know, the biggest one that I talked about, now this is an SSR, but it's a good example, was Ines Fusion was a very good card for parents and grandparents, because if you had ended up getting one copy of her, she had one of the only ways to get play times over, which is a really good skill that can be used alongside like tail held high to do crazy amount of speed push up in the middle of the race, alongside other skills like slipstream, which she has as well. And so that's what you have the same thing when it comes to the SR cards as well, with all kinds of wide variety of skills. One example being right now we're doing a medium champions meeting, so if you're trying to get sparks for medium straights and medium corners, which are good for it, you have this one, Agnes Tachyon. The SR support card has medium straightaways, medium corners. Also has up tempo, which is decent enough skill. Not crazy good, but it has that. But these are the two big ones right now. And this card, just one copy of this, is all you need to pull off these skills when you're doing your parent and grandparent making. And so it makes it good. Now, potentially not your... Now, it's also potentially good for making your ace as well, if you have good enough speed and stamina cards to push the ace. And that's just kind of one example. You have a couple others you can kind of look at here. If you're thinking about like front runners in the future, front runners right now are a little bit harder to build, but in the future, you have like this one, the Mihono Bourbon Adrenaline card or Power card that has a lot of front runner stuff on it. Easy way to get some of these skills to put on, hopefully get white sparks on in parent grandparent making that you can then eventually pass on to your ace. The big reason being is, in most cases, you're mostly only wanting to use speed and stamina cards on your ace. So these power cards are good enough, in my opinion, at one copy, just simply for your parent and grandparent making for the skills. That being one example. If you're looking at going heavily and investing in end closers, which are really good right now because of all of the still being or in the early game where stamina is a lot of a problem, you have the nasty natures knocking out stamina. And so if end closers being good, another one that you could look at would be, if I can find it here. And it is a power card that I cannot find. Okay, here it is. Kishi Amazon. Another one has a lot of good end closer straightaways, Masterful Gambit. So pretty good card overall for your end closers. So you want to try and get white sparks on those. Another thing that you want a lot of the wide variety of these cards for is their, like if you're building a nasty nature, the debuffs are spread quite wide on these cards. They're kind of all over the place. You need a wide variety to get as many of those debuffs on her as possible, which even includes a rare card. If you have not gotten a copy of it, I've only got one copy. Luckily, I have one, but it is the rare Symbol Rudolph. If you don't have this card, you're going to struggle to make a nasty nature, because this is like a big starting point for getting a lot of debuffs right here. Just this rare card by itself is really good. So if you don't have a copy of this, that might be a potential. So that's the first reason, getting as many different variations of cards as possible. And so if you're finding that you're missing a good chunk of the SRs in this stack, then that might be a good reason to pull, as to get a wider variety. Now, the second big one is making your aces. And so this is the one where it's really going to come down to who you're wanting to build going into the future. In my opinion, if you're like free to play, you may want to focus in more on specific areas, so you can heavily invest in, say, white sparks for it. So maybe you're just going to go heavy, like maybe you're someone that wanted to pull Naridia Taishin, the current Uma that came out. You got a copy of her, and so you're going to heavily invest in those enclosures. You have Gold Ship, her, and other ones potentially in the future. And so the cards that you may want to see a lot of copies of, and if you don't have MLB, these are ones that you may be wanting to pull for. So, much as it sucks, you can't use this on Naridia Taishin, but you could use it on Gold Ship as the Naridia Taishin SR card, because this one has Masterful Gambit, Enclosure Corners, Pressure. So really good card that you can actually use on your ace, because this is a speed card. And that's the second thing, is having a lot of dupes, or hopefully MLB, on your speed and stamina cards at this point. They are the most important, the ones you're going to be building your aces with. And so the more copies of them, the better. Mayano Top Gun being just a generic good one on the stamina side. And those dupes do matter. When you look at what these provide, so like training effectiveness, 5%, special priority, 20. This is only at 1 copy. Initial stamina, 25. If I take this all the way to MLB, so you get a 5 additional stamina. An additional 5% training effectiveness. Special priority is now 35. So that's making it more likely she's going to land on the stamina, so you can get better rainbows more often. Skill point bonus. Skill points are, when you're building your ace, if you've been working on them, you know skill points are few and far between versus when you're building a parent and grandparent, you're just doing like every race possible. When you're focused heavily on training, skill points are very important to get, which she can give you a little bit here and there as you're using her. Very nice there. Decent little bit of skills here to kind of help out if you're missing white sparks or that. You can help out with that. And so those speed and stamina cards, getting MLB on as many of them, or at least getting a deck's worth, I think is very important. Even if it doesn't fit for your current playstyle, just having good speed and stamina cards at SR and MLB are going to be very good for stack sticks. You got Sweep Toe Show, Mayano Top Gun, Manhattan Cafe, King Halo, Aishin Flash, and I believe that's all of them. And then you have some of the good wit ones. Wit will come down and be important. Maybe some builds have you putting 1 wit in there. You have Matakane Fukutaru, Marvelous Sunday's decent, Agnes Tachyon being a good one. Definitely for this current Champions meeting, having medium straightaways and corners, which are good skills to pick up. So overall, that's the big thing though, is trying to get as many of them as possible MLB, because they are significantly better, especially on like the stamina side. Right now we have the Majiro McQueen and Rice Shower potential stamina cards, but they're not, like, compared to some of these SRs, they're not as good. And you're better off having like a Mayano Top Gun over them, because not only does it have better stat sticks, but it also has better skills potential as well. And then another thing too is SSRs. Now this one's a little bit different, since you're not going to get near as many as you're going to get of SRs. You're more likely to get all the SRs than SSRs. But you can think about if you can just randomly pick up an SSR while pulling too, if you don't really have good skills for your parents as well, like with the SRs, there's some pickups in here randomly you can get. The latest one, Yano Muteki. If you get 1 copy of this card, that is crazy good for parent and grandparent making. Like I said, everything on here is great. Medium corners, playtime's over, tail held eye, prepared to pass, homestretch chase, ramp up, all great for building your Uma. And so that's kind of it. It is very subjective, so there's no real way to say this is specifically what you want. But that's kind of some general guidance. Now, one thing you can use to help with that, and I'll put a link to this one in the description, is this tier list here. And so this is, this can be a little bit tricky for a lot of people to use. I just use this on its like default settings. I think the default is pretty good. And this kind of rates the cards on their value to what you're trying to do. Now, if you want to really nail this down to what you're trying to do, you can go through the customized settings and adjust everything here. I have not messed with it at this fine tuning. The one thing is this does not take skills into account. So there's a little bit of value that you're not really getting out of this, because there might be one that's a little bit worse on speed stats or something on a speed card. But man, does that card have better skills for you to use versus the other one that help potentially get that Ace Uma ready to go. But you can use the customized settings to kind of nail down a little bit to get a general idea. But just kind of looking at it, you can just use the default and it'll give you a good idea. So you can like look at the speed card. I like to use Kitasan Black as my starting like card because this is going to rate the tier list as you pick cards out. It's going to shift things around based on the value the other cards are providing alongside it. And so I just start with Kitasan Black and then look at it. So this is how you can get a good idea of some breakpoints you may be looking for in cards. And so right now I have it set, this is set to speed. You have one for each of the different types. So speed here. You can see S tier, max dupe, Kitasan Black, of course. Your A tier ones are going to be the Baksheen SSR at max dupes, Biko Pegasus at max dupe. And then you kind of move down here. Sweep Tosho, B tier, Sweep Tosho, max dupe. Really good pickup. If you have max dupe Sweep Tosho, you're sitting good. I mean, she can give you Charming right off the bat. If you get really lucky, she gives you Charming at the very beginning of your career. And you're gonna get all your Umas to be able to give you rainbows very quickly, and that is literally how you can get the highest. Like the way to get the strongest Uma is literally getting Charming right off the bat. You get Charming right off the bat, that's probably gonna be your highest stat stick Uma possible, as long as things kind of line up. I mean, you can still get screwed if they don't line up on the things very well, but that's the highest potential because you're gonna get them friendship up so much quicker with Charming, which is a big thing, and it's a speed card. And speed just by default is good because that is the biggest one you're trying to raise here. Really good. You have here, just one copy of this one's good. This one's max dupes here, but this one has left-handed on it right now, like one of our very few ways to get left-handed on the Silent Suzuka one. But also a very good speed card just generically. I'm using it for left-handed, but it feels really good at just zero dupes, one copy, and it feels really good as just a core speed card that I've been using. And so this is, I mean, at the top, you're seeing all the max dupes. As you move down the tier list, you can see where the value comes with lower dupes or max dupes. So Sweep Tosho, still really good at just 2 dupes. King Halo, another good speed card. You really want a lot of dupes of King Halo to do well. So this is one speed card that you could potentially, I only have one copy of it. I need to get more of it to get some real value out of it, because you can see it's a F tier. You have no dupes, no copies. So King Halo sucks unless you have dupes of it. But if you do, right up here alongside a lot of other, even some SSR cards, right at the same level for our free special week, the Gold City Twin Turbo. So very good. And you can see it's the same level as Silent Suzuka, Biko Pegasus at 2, and King Halo. So really good card. You just need a lot of dupes for that. You can see kind of down here. Now, this doesn't take into consideration skills, like I mentioned. So if you're building an end closer and it's not Rita Taishin, her card is really good. It's a speed card, so by default good, and it has end closure skills on it, so you can raise the value up specifically for that. But kind of gives you a good idea of where the cards lie as you have the dupes of them. And this is, you can do this with all of them. You can do it stamina here, Super Creek, of course, for max dupes. Top tier, absolutely crazy. Second best right now, it's showing C tier with Sanato Diamond. And so I've used Sanato Diamond a decent amount now, primarily because she has medium corners and a couple other things on her. And she's just been a generically good zero dupe stamina card for me. And the only reason I've used it over other ones was the medium corners. I've kind of shifted away from it now as I've kind of got that fleshed out into my White Sparks. But then you have a bunch of the other ones here. You can kind of see their value. With according to dupes here, Manhattan Cafe, like I said, getting dupes of that, very good. Mayano Top Gun, right up there. I mean, everything's really low on this list for stamina just because Super Creek just dominates all of them. But they're all good. I mean, this is what we have to work with right now. As better cards come out, that will change. But as you can see, pretty good. The newest one's pretty good. Power cards, you're really not going to want to use them unless you do very specific builds. I have a build I'm working on that has power cards in it for my gold chip, but I'm going to be a heavier spender. I'm going to be trying to MLB Super Creek. So I'll have MLB Super Creek and Kitasan Black to try and make power cards work. For a majority of people that aren't going to be spending heavily, these are mostly for skills. So the value here is not going to show very easily. And like one of the top power cards here, I would say at max dupes, if you are going to do a build with power in here, it's going to be this card right here. For the simple fact, the skills are crazy good right now on this card. And if you could avoid needing the RNG for those White Sparks by being able to use this, that one's crazy good. So just know this, I know I keep saying it, but this does not take skills into consideration. This is just to kind of get a general idea when it comes to like stat sticks and stuff regarding the value of the cards. If you really want to get this tier list working, though, you do have to mess with these on very specifically what you're working at when it comes to these cards. So you have that. Your wit cards, of course, it's going to be like the main ones up here, Fine Motion, but it's one big one that I already had mentioned. Marvelous Sunday is right up there. Very good card. There's actually quite a few good wit cards, and I've seen a lot of builds people are doing includes wit cards. So it's basically, you're either doing 4 speed and 2 stamina, or you're doing like 3 speed, 2 stamina, 1 wit. Those are the directions I've seen. And so this can kind of give you a good idea on the wit cards you bring. Although right now at the current CM, Agnes Tachion's a very good one. Max Dupes would be really good. Has medium corners, medium straightaways. But some of these others are better for other scenarios or stat sticks, which you can kind of see here. And then when it comes to the friendship cards here. Now, this is definitely not showing very good when it comes to other value outside of that, because Tazuna is absolutely better than her at max dupes. So this is definitely needing some fine-tuning on the friendship cards. I try and avoid them right now. Now, if you pull on the Super Creek banner, guess what? You have high potential of getting a lot of copies of her. Very good potential. She's a very good card that makes your runs more consistent. Has tail held high. And at max dupes, it's going to be so much easier to get it. But I wouldn't really plan for it. I try to avoid these because they don't really have skills. And whilst you can reduce the energy, I'd rather just get higher stat sticks from having an extra speed card over bringing her in and being able to hit it more often. But it depends on really what you have on the value of that card. And if you do pull on Super Creek, you very well may get multiple copies of her, and she may prove valuable, depending on that. But that's kind of pretty much it. I just thought I'd kind of make a quick comment on the SRs. I will say it is very subjective, and so if you have any questions on like maybe your specific deck, you can always join my Discord, which is in the description, and ask. Either me or many others, including Japanese players, are there that can give you a good idea of what you should do in your specific scenario, because it's going to be different for everybody. It's very subjective. And so a lot of people in there in my Discord have been just discussing that. A lot of people have asked questions, myself including, because I've asked the Japanese players and stuff, well, oh my goodness, what should I do in this scenario? Or what skills good in for this CM? Because like I'm already planning for the upcoming long and mile champions meetings. And so I'm already like asking questions on that. And so you can ask in there, and if it's not me answering, hopefully somebody else that knows what they're doing as well can help you. But yeah, that'll be pretty much it for now. If you like my content, if you can like, comment, subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.